It's time for. Oh my god! Boom! Smash! Bang! Bang! Thanks for the ride. Oh. Whew. Good old Alf. Always good for. There's someone who knows how to do with the intergalactic travel now. Once again, live on tape before. Whew. Sorry, not before, but live on tape from a secret, undisclosed location. Oh yes, hidden somewhere deep in the bowels of downtown St. John's, Newfoundland, comes in the Library of Graphic Literature with your host. Oh, hang on a sec. What's his name again? Okay, Wallace Ryan. Whew. Let's have a cup of tea here. Of course, sorry about it, but we're late again this week. It seems our latest shipping company has been, really slacking off. So, but we did finally got our new books in today, and of course, I have a nice, healthy stack to go through with all you fine folks there about it. Anyways, including a book from last week. Hey, let's get started. Now, where is my blade? So, let's start with Marvel this week. So, hope everyone's having a good week out there. Things are going good. And no one's getting the COVID, or the Rona, as some people like to call it. We've got a couple of cases up here, three to five cases, I think, this week. First time. Now of course, we're on an island, so we've been escaping the most of it. As a matter of fact, at one point there were more cases of COVID in the White House than in our entire province. There was 500,000 people here, so yeah, we did pretty good. But there are workers who come in for the oil industry, so it's been sneaking its way in. And some Earl Grey tea here, and let's get started. So what's first this week is another Marvel Masterworks, and this week is Volume 5 of Marvel 2-in-1. One of my favorite series growing up. Oh, I love the sound of the cracking binding. I started life out as a DC person at the age of 3, reading looking at Green Lantern, Atom, and all them, and learned how to read and write from them. But anyway, as a matter of fact, growing up, I'd seen other comics here and there. The only comics I can remember reading as a kid in the 60s was a couple of Daredevils and actually buying a couple of Captain Marvel. And it wasn't until the early 70s that I sort of got into Marvel Comics as well. And it's funny because when people today say, are you a DC or Marvel, I'm the rare creature of I'm a D-Marvel. So, I tend to like just about all comics. And from all eras, too. I've seen reviews, people talking about comics, from the 50s and 60s, and the way they talk about them, it's obviously they just don't get, these comics. It's the type of thing you either have to know a bit about the era that it's from. Like, even for me, even though I wasn't born in the 50s, I know enough about the 50s and the politics, everything, that, stuff like EC comics, for instance, makes sense to me, because I understand the milieu. Same with 60s comics, right on through to 70s comics when I was a teenager, the wild and wacky 70s, the 80s, and you should beware of people who are reviewing these things who just don't seem to know enough about the era that they're talking about. Because I've seen a few reviews of some comics talking about different, some great comics too, by some great people, Ditko and Kirby and all that, and they just don't understand it. And those are not the people to be listening to for comic book reviews. You should be listening to someone like myself or me and Dennis Osborne. Like on Thursday Comics, for instance, there's two of us. I'm born in 61, and my friend Dennis, born I guess in the 80s, so 20 years apart. So we have an experience when we're talking about comics, but the good thing and what I've found about Dennis is he's informed enough about these different eras too that he can appreciate stuff from different eras. So if you're looking for good reviews or people to tell you what comics you should be reading, check out Thursday Comics or listen to me, listen to this show. Anyways, so this is one of them here, Marvel Toon 1. For some reason, like I say, this was one of the ones I picked up. I don't even know why, because I was just starting to get into the Fantastic Four through Marvel's Greatest Comics, the old reprint series. Starting to love it, starting to dig things like Kirby and understanding more and more, getting better taste and all that. But I actually like Marvel Toon 1. I was actually a big fan of Marvel Team Up too, even though I did buy Amazing. I did buy Marvel Team Up. Don't ask me how or why. But this one, I'm really excited to pick up, because this one, there's a lot of great people in this particular issue. There's John Byrne, George Perez, there's even Frank Miller, Jim Craig, and writers from Grunwald and Macchio, Mantlo, Stephen Grant, Marv Wolfman, Dave Michelini. So a lot of great talent in this particular one. So even some Chick Stone comics. Chick, remember him more as an inker of Kirby rather than as a penciler of by himself. But what's big about this book, and what I'm really excited about, is the Project Pegasus is in this book. It was actually one of my favorite, story arcs for Marvel Toon 1. And it was with art by John Byrne, and then finishing off with art by George Perez. Great series from start to end. Great arc. So this one would be a good one to pick up, especially if you have picked up the first 4 volumes. Make sure you get this one, because this has some of the best in it. This goes right up to 60. So yeah, definitely well worth getting. So make sure you pick that out. Now which was the one that Miller did? Miller did number 51. Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, he does the one where it's inked by McLeod. So it doesn't look quite. Some of it you can tell by the layout and the design. It's obviously Miller, but Bob's. I guess still it's Miller from that time. But anyway, like I say, the Project Pegasus artwork. Okay, let's get here. And let's zip ahead to the Project Pegasus storyline there. Oh look, Moon Knight. This is Jim Craig. And then we go on along to... Come on, I know you're in here. Oh, here we go. This is it. I recognize this was the last saga of Project Pegasus. So this was John Byrne was in it, inking it, and basically he visits this project that has all these superheroes involved with it. There's Marvel Boy, or Quasar as he became known. Thundra is there. Wonder is there. It's even an appearance by Deathlock, or what's left of Deathlock. So yeah, this is another one by Byrne and Sinnott. And oh, but yeah, another great one. Wonder is involved here, and then we get into the issues by Perez. Great, great, great artwork. Here we go again. So yeah, if you're looking for some good thing reading, this is the one to get. George Perez and Gene Day, as a matter of fact. So yeah, great, absolutely great comic. Definitely well worth picking up there. Then back to Chick Stone. So yeah, still still one of my favorite from the 70s. A good solid one. Now let's pick it up here a bit worse. I'm going a bit slow here tonight. You know, hey, I just got home from teaching class on costume drawing, so you know, bear with me. Okay, next, another nice baby from Marvel. This time it's an omnibus. And the omnibus this week is definitely the omnibus of the week is Excalibur. I love this series actually. It's great artwork. Love the story. Oh, listen to that. I love when you first open the book, that cracking and that crinkling as you crack it open. This, of course, started with great artwork. Well, this actually does start with the Alan Davis and Paul Neary graphic novel, which was that one, which I loved at the time. It was just like, hey, this is a whole new team. Because at the time, there wasn't as many teams as there are these days. Now there's an X for everything. This one, Claremont, of course, lots of other people, but in terms of artists, you had Davis, Lim, Marshall Rogers, Arthur Adams, Rick Leonardi, Barry Windsor Smith, Colleen Doran, Ron Wagner, Eric Larson, Mike Manley, and many others. So yeah, this omnibus has a potpourri of fabulous artists. And a great storyline. Very different, like I say, from the other Marvel titles of the time. I mean, from the other X titles. But I loved Paul Davis's artwork. I mean, Alan Davis and Paul Neary. But yeah, definitely well worth picking up. And this one, like I say, has a nice potpourri of different artists on it, so definitely well worth checking out. There, this is definitely, obviously I can tell, even upside down I can tell a Marshall Rogers story. I can tell it a mile away. Anyway, some cool stuff there. Definitely well worth picking up there, folks. Look at this. Now, this is some hefty reading here for you. But yeah, even here where we have, who's this there now? Al Milgrom Inker. Chris Claremont and Alan Davis, of course, yeah. But yeah, definitely well worth purchasing. If I could buy it again, I would. Look at this. So yeah, great artwork throughout this one. I would recommend this to anyone. Okay, so yeah, Excalibur. Check it out. Always one of my favorite of the 80s X titles. Whew. Or was it 80s? I guess it was, yeah. Late 80s. Let's double check. 87. There we go. Don't forget. Now, I do believe we're going into the 90s here now with JLA from Grant Morrison. I mean, oh God, what a hefty piece of reading we have here, folks. Of course, I'm a big fan of anything that Grant Morrison gets his grimy little paws on, and this is, of course, no different. Oh, what a weight! Oh, listen to that crack and that crinkle of all a brand new omnibus being popped open here for your viewing pleasure. Now this has, I think it's Grant Morrison and Porter. Was he in it? Howard Porter, yeah. Let's see what. I always like to check out which artists are. Now this was more or less the. No, they don't. Okay, well yeah, Howard Porter starts it off. But yeah, these I actually haven't read myself, but everyone I know who's read the Grant Morrison run on Justice League says that this is definitely one to buy. They love the story, everything about it. Dennis always raves about this. So I'm going to try to read it over the next few days and see if I can rave about it at a future time and date. But let's get a look at some of that cool Howard, that Porter artwork. Oh. Love the artwork. There's someone who can art. But yeah, I'm gonna enjoy reading this one, I tell you. If all my friends who've read it are correct. I mean, sure, I read graphic novels and a lot of different stuff now and then, but occasionally I do like to check out a little bit of superhero stuff. And this is definitely one of them. Especially anything, like I say, by Grant Morrison. Superhero or no superhero. Anything by Grant is worth checking out. Okay, now we're tooting. We're really tooting along here. We're really getting through it nice and fast. You know, we got 3 books left. And still lots of time according to my stopwatch over there. Actually, what I do, I actually have have a Google timer going, stopwatch, when I'm doing my show, so I can sort of keep an eye on it, because it can only fit so much on my memory card, about a half hour tops. So I always make sure that I'm good for it. Now, oh God, lots of plastic all over the place. What a mess! What a mess. Let's have a cup of tea first, or a sip of tea. Okay, now from Brian K. Vaughan, Cliff Chiang, and friends comes book 3 of Paper Girls. Dun, 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 dun. This one, I'm not up to this one yet. Obviously, I've read a lot of the other ones, but still in book 1 actually of this. But I love it. I love it. There's Paper Girls, fabulous comic. Everyone I know who bought it and collected it at the time when it was coming out loved it, and like I say, I read the first volume myself and I loved it. Brian K. Vaughan can do no wrong to me. He could kick me in the face and I'd still say he was great. So yeah, check this one out. And Cliff Chiang, whose artwork on Wonder Woman was absolutely stunning. One of the best Wonder Woman artists, in my opinion, in a long time. So yeah, check it out. Paper Girls, well worth the read. Not No, not like a lot of superhero stuff and all that, but still pretty darn good. I love his artwork. There's just something so clean and nice about Chiang's artwork. Look at that. Yeah. I love artists who can do such simple artwork and have it so beautiful. And Chiang is one of the rare people like that. So yeah, definitely a must-have. A must-have if you're a big-time comic collector. One of the best new. I mean, like I say, my reading experience goes from the '60s right up until today, and Bride K. Vaughan in my mind is right up there with a lot of the great new writers, like Brubaker, Fraction, etc. Don McGregor, even Steve Gerber. Okay, now let's move on right along here. Oh, I have another sip of tea. I'm parched. I am. Okay, now another volume of the Disney Masters, starring Donald Duck in Walt Disney's Follow the Fearless Leader, Dick Kinney and Al Hubbard. Of course, I haven't read these, but I love. Well, that's one thing I love about the Disney Masters is they're bringing European Disney comics across the pond for people like myself to read who've never been exposed to it. I'm actually reading my way through all the Disney Masters that I got now. I'm about 4 volumes in, but I'm trying to catch up to wherever I am in the book-to-book order. And so yeah, hopefully I will catch up pretty soon. But I've come across some great, like I say, great stories. Very, very different, some of them from others, but I've been loving every one of them so far. So, and this one, my good pal Sam Johnson, who was on the show here talking about Disney one time, he was excited to see this, and I usually, well, I mean, I've been buying them all the Disney Masters. And there's some he said, well, he's not a big fan of this one or that one, but the ones that he does actually buy for himself, I take note of, because if he's buying them, then they gotta be good. So this was one of them. So, Follow the Fearless Leader. Yeah, and I'm gonna enjoy this. Oh, let's have a close look here now. I love Donald. He's wild, he's madcap, he's angry. He don't take crap from no one. But yeah, definitely for those of you who've never delved into the Duck comics, I can't recommend them more than enough. They're great stories. Just good old-fashioned comics. So yeah, check this out, and check out the series anyway. Disney Masters, definitely well worth. Should be on any series collector's shelf, any series collector of comics. Whew. Okay, and we're gonna end off this week with me having a sip of tea and exposing you to Volume 3 of I, René Tardy, Prisoner of War in Stalag 2B, After the War. I'm still making my way through this, but there's certain comics I'll buy just by the creator alone, like say the upcoming Monsters or Monster by Barry Windsor Smith, stuff like that. Certain creators that I just know it's going to be good just because of who they are, and one of them is Tardy. It's funny because when I was younger, I wasn't such a big fan of his. It was one of those people who you sort of have to grow into as you get older, and this was one of them. his Mem-EC, oh god, all of his books, they're all definitely worth reading. So if you're looking for a little bit of European in your reading, check out Tardy. He rules. In this series, like I say, from what I skimmed of the first volume and all that, looks great. And all his other books have been great, so why not this one? I have no problem recommending Tardy to anyone. Okay, so don't be tardy and pick up your copy of this. Yep. Once again, one of these super simple artists. Simple and beautiful at the same time. Look at this. Just look at this, will you? Take it. And nothing wrong with a bit of history too. I've been trying to get more and more, in the past few years too, I've been trying to get more and more stuff besides just superhero stuff into the library, and that's a happy addition for sure. Anyway, whew, well, geez, we got through them all. Anyway, I guess that's going to be it for this week. Check out Thursday Comics, of course. The latest one, the Giant Size Edition, is pretty cool. And it's a lot of fun anyway. We do our Giant Size Editions with our lists of our top 10 of whatever, and they're always fun. And then news one every second week too. So check them out. Let us know what you think, and subscribe to it. And subscribe to my channel here. And but follow both of us, because at this one you get Nice Wallace, and in the other one you get Critical Wallace, who will tell you what he doesn't like. This show, of course, I like to just talk about the best. The champagne of comics. Anyway, that being said, thanks for having me over. Yeah? Yeah? Which way? How big? Oh my god. Look at the size of that boom tube. That must be the 52nd biggest boom tube ever. Woo, bye!